Welcome back to the Catnip Podcast. My name is Grace and today is Monday, August 8th. This is a podcast about knitting, books, baking, and cats, but most importantly knitting, because that is what I love to do all day, every day. I have various social medias that I will link all the various places. I have Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and Ravelry. I'm most active on Instagram, so please go follow me over on there, especially during the summer. I'm doing my summer recording schedule, so I'm doing every other week, and if you want to keep up to date with what I keep up or what I do while I'm not recording or when I'm not recording or whatever, that is the best place to follow me. I also have show notes, so links to things that I will be talking about will be on my blog. The link to that will be down below if you're on YouTube, or if you're on my blog already, everything is already there. I also work at a yarn shop. It is called Pearly Girls. It is in Spring, Texas, and I will link all the various addresses, social media things for you to go check out. We also have an online shop if you'd like to check us out if you are not local or if you are not nearby, but we would also love to hang out with you if you'd like to come see us in person. I have a lot of finished objects to share. We have a lot of progress to share, and there is just a lot to talk about, and I am very busy today, so we are going to power through, but also not go too fast, because we're going to take a moment and just breathe. It's also very warm. Surprise! Will it rain? I don't know. I don't trust any form of weather forecast anymore. We had like over 80% chance of rain over the weekend, and we got zero. So I don't really trust anything anymore. But this is not a weather podcast. We all know I love to talk about the weather. So let's just get right into things. We've got yarn acquisitions, we've got finished objects, we've got old languishing whips, we've got really, really old languishing whips, and just progress in general. So if you like to grab something tasty to drink, I have a hydration beverage thing. It's water with one of those like hydration tablets in it. It tastes like tropical punch. It's very nice. If you like to grab something tasty to drink, something to snack upon, something to craft upon, an animal to snuggle, laundry to fold, mine's in the process of going through all the steps. Maybe you're on your lunch break. Maybe you are just relaxing. Whatever it is that you are doing, I hope it is bringing you joy, or I'm helping you get through some task that you do not like to do. I hope I can help you with that. And you can do all those things, none of those things, whatever brings you joy, and you come back and join me for some crafty chat. So, everyone, hello. We have once again come to that time of my recording when I blank on what I talked about last week and don't know what I have and haven't showed you. So, either way, I have 3 finished objects, and they are all sweaters, and one of them is a 3-year-old languishing whip, and if you follow me on Instagram, you will know, because I documented on my stories pretty frequently along the way of my progress, because it is done. It is done. Let's just show that one off first, because I'm so proud of it. None of the ends are woven in, but they're woven in, but they haven't been trimmed yet. But it is dry. It did take 3 days to dry. My O-band cardigan, everyone, my O-band cardigan is completely done. The pockets are done, the shawl collar is done, the ends are not trimmed. I don't have buttons yet, but that's okay. The knitting is completely done. This is a cabled, all over cabled sweater cardigan by Thea Coleman. We love Thea Coleman here. I started this, it was exactly, roughly, but almost exactly 3 years. I looked on my Ravelry and I started it in August of 2019, so pre-pandemic, pre all of that. Little did we know. I started this, and August of 2022, here we are today. We've lived through a pandemic, and I have a finished O-band cardigan, finally. This was very much out of the blue. There is so much cat hair that has been knit into this thing, and probably some of my own hair by accident, but such is life of being a knitter and being a knitter with longer hair. I very randomly pulled this out because I knew that I only had one sleeve left of like really big knitting, and then I had the collar and the pockets. The collar ended up being much more of a quick process than I thought it was, which is very nice. It still took a while, but that's what we have television for and things on to watch. Also because it was garter stitch, I could also read. That was very nice. I thought it was going to be super complicated with all the short rows because there was just a lot of information. Turned out that it was totally fine. I just had to sit down and do all the reading, and everything was fine because it's garter stitch. You didn't need to pick up your wraps. I did convert mine to German short rows because I prefer that. That's just my personal preference. What is my yarn? My yarn is Knit Picks Simply Wool Worsted in the Wilhelmina colorway. Got these yummy cables on the top of the sleeve. It's very warm, but I will put this on for you all because I love you so much. I'm gonna try not to get ends in my drink. Not that you can see this very well, but it fits so incredibly well. I am so excited. And I will say that the yarn is, it's not scratchy per se, but it's not the softest thing in the world. And I thought it would soften up over blocking time. It didn't really, but I know that with wear, it will also soften up. I also know I can like just continue to reblock it and do certain measures to make sure it softens up, but I'm not complaining. I'm just glad that it's done. This was such an old Languishing whip. Here are my pockets. You can see, so amazing. There are the pockets on the inside. Ta-da! My pockets are just so wonderful. Yes. I am just over the moon that this is done, and I am so proud of my work. I am just so proud of what I made. I'm also so just incredibly happy for patterns like this and the things that people like Thea Coleman can create out of their minds, and it's just amazing, and then people can knit them. It is wonderful. So my O-band cardigan is finally finished. When will we get finished object pictures? I don't know. It is too hot, and I want to take these outside, and it is too hot. It's pretty much too hot inside too. I was taking some finished object pictures earlier, or at the end of last week, and I was sweating inside. It was so hot, and just like, I'm done. I'm done. No more. No more. So my next finished object is not a test knit. I don't remember if I've shown this to you. I don't know. I may have showed this to you. I deeply apologize. Then I only have 2 finished objects. But this is my Gramps cardigan. And I'm putting it on, and now you won't really be able to see it. But this is my, or not my Gramps cardigan, my Gramps Revive by Isabel Kramer, excuse me. I have my finished sleeves there. It fits beautifully. I can't get over this cardigan. I want 5 more. don't have buttons sewn on yet, but we do have buttons coming that I am going to get when they arrive at the shop. It is a V-neck cardigan. I have hair in my eye, and I'm just so incredibly happy with how this turned out. This was my fall fiber fun along project that was a knit along that Pearly Girls is hosting. It ends at the end of August, and I used Knitting for Olive merino in the hazelnut colorway and the brown bear colorway, and then the white is just a little bit of Madeline Tosh merino white that I had in my stash. I cannot even with this. This yarn blocks out so nicely. This is obviously, if you've been watching it just basically this summer, you would know that I've knit many things out of this yarn already. I love it so much, so much. And I love Isabel Kramer's patterns. That's another person that we stand here. We have Thea Coleman, we have Isabel Kramer, many others. And then finally, my most recent test knit, and for a while, for a hot second, I had 0 test knits on my needles. And it was quite invigorating. And that was when I pulled out my O-band cardigan and just powered through that sleeve basically in a day, and it was amazing. But this is my Brooklyn Raglan by Tori Knits NYC on Instagram. She is publishing this pattern, I believe, this coming Friday. But it is a top down. We've got some short rows in the back. It's got really nice shaping to it, and we also have this fun scoop hem, which is kind of hard to see, but it's got a little scoopy thing in the front and the back. They're roughly the same length, and then we have this beautiful texture, this broken seed stitch of sorts on the sleeves, and another one that fits impeccably, and I can't wait till it gets cooler and I can actually wear this with blue jeans, and it's gonna be so comfy cozy. And I need 5 more, but I can't because it's too hot. It's too hot, and it's too humid, and it's been hot for too long, and we've had no rain. But anyway, I love this so much. It fits so well. I used Barocco Ultra Wool DK, which we do carry at the shop in a bazillion fun colors. But I went with this blue heathered because I don't have very many navy pullovers. Also, let's keep in mind some of my goals for this year were knitting more cardigans, and 2 out of the 3 finished objects that I have to show you today are in fact cardigans. Wow, go me. That's really wonderful. That being said, I still love knitting pullovers, and I will continue to knit pullovers and cardigans and pretty much anything and everything. With a few exceptions, of course, not anything and everything, but it feels like that sometimes. Anyway, Brooklyn Raglan. It is wonderful. It is a great beginning sweater if you are wanting something that's not like super simple when it comes to design elements. Like obviously you have the texture. If you can follow and read your knitting, it's a good way to practice that. If you want something that has a little bit of fancy hem stuff going on, I think this is a great one to do. The pattern is very clearly written. It's very nicely laid out. It would be a very good beginning sweater if you were looking for that. And it's just fun. And Tori's wonderful. So, the Brooklyn Raglan pullover is, I believe, coming out this coming Friday. So keep your eyes peeled. Everything will be linked in the show notes, so if you don't follow Tori already, I would highly recommend it. She's got a couple other patterns that are currently in testing and will be coming out soon, and they are adorable. So you do not want to miss out on that. That is all the finished objects that I have, everybody, which was quite a lot, and I may have shown you one of them already, and I do apologize, but if I already showed it, then you just got another chance to see the Gramps Revive cardigan, because I haven't taken pictures because I don't have the buttons, and it's also too hot, and I don't know what I want to do for the pictures, and blah blah blah. You just get to see it again, so who knows, maybe I'll show it again next time I record. Oh, goodness gracious, I am just too funny sometimes. More like ridiculous, but whatever. Anyway, so we are moving on with things I have worked on. I don't know if I worked on that, but we'll pull it out just in case. Oh my goodness, have I worked on every single thing in this bag? Go me. That's amazing. We fully emptied my couch bag, which is from Wool and Honey, the yarn shop Wool and Honey. I have not actually been there, unfortunately, not yet. It is on my bucket list, but I got this bag for Christmas several years ago, and it's my couch bag. Because I don't want to carry all my projects with me, and when I'm sitting on the couch, it's nice to just be able to reach down and pick up a project. And if I have the ones in rotation in this one bag nearby, then I'm more likely to like rotate through them and get a lot of knitting done. This is my thought process. I have random things thrown into this. What is this for? I don't know what that is for, but that is okay. This is a Kleenex that I need to throw away. So I did finish a sleeve on my Rift card, or my Rift pullover, Rift tee, excuse me. What is this? It is a pullover, but it's also a tee, but I'm not making it the tee, so it's not really a tee. What is it? I don't know. It's a sweater. It's a sweater that I'm knitting. And this is it. I did finish a sleeve, and yes, I know that the sleeve looks tiny. It does look tiny, but it does fit, and it fits nicely, and also there's a thing called blocking, and everything will relax and stretch, and it's fine. But even now, as small as that is, it fits great. So, in case you were concerned, it does fit. This is the Rift Tee by Jacqueline Cieslak. This is actually, I'm trying to think if it's if it's the first pattern of hers that I've knit. I have so many of her patterns saved in my queue if I haven't knit any of them yet. If I have, I think it's one of her older ones. But either way, they are so well written. There are so many size options. There are so many very helpful ways to walk you through basically customizing it to fit you exactly how you want it, and I love that so much. But this is just a bottom up little cropped top. It can be a tee, you can have short sleeves, but since I got 2 skeins of this new to me dyer, excuse me, called the Conifer Collective. And she is based out of Conifer, Colorado. And they just recently started carrying her yarn at Maker and Stitch. So when I went to visit my parents recently, I saw their post about having her yarn, and I was like, oh man, I really need to check this out. The colorway is called Desert Cardinal, and of course everything will be linked. Oops, sorry. But I got 2 skeins, and it took about just roughly a little bit more than 1 skein to do the entire body. And since I had a full other one, I was like, well, I just might as well do long sleeves. I wanted to do that anyway. And so I have a finished sleeve. And I had to trade off needles with this and the Brooklyn Raglan because the needles that were on this I needed to use for that sleeve, and I couldn't find my other whatever size I ended up using, and so it helped me power through this sleeve, and then I could get it or transition it onto my ribbing needle, which I have been doing recently, Normally I'm not one to change needle sizes for ribbing, which is to each their own. I don't judge you either way, whether you do or you don't. Clearly I've been on both sides of the argument. If it is not inconvenient to me to switch out needles, I will probably switch out needles. If it is inconvenient and will take more time and I just want to be done, I will not switch them out. So it really just kind of depends on the situation and my mood. But having done that recently, I do see in my own knitting, and I will more likely go down 2 sizes so I can make sure that I do see a difference, because sometimes if you just go down 1, depending on your gauge and how you knit, you may not see a difference. For me, if I go down 2 sizes-ish, I can see a difference, and I think it looks much nicer, and that it gives the effect of the ribbing that I want, more likely, if that makes sense. So, long story short, I had to power through this sleeve, get my cuff needles, knit the Brooklyn raglan. Now obviously that's done, and now I have my needles back again to knit the second sleeve, which, as we all know, the second sleeve goes faster. It is a V-neck in the front, there's a boat neck in the back. We've got different necklines that you can pick from. You don't have to have either one. I mean, if my hem was not longer in the back, then I could theoretically flip it around and have the V-neck in the back and the boat neck in the front. But since my hem is longer in the back, which I don't know if you can tell, it's always hard to show these things off. You can see that my hem is longer in the back. I knit the body of this in about 2 or 3 days. It was great. And then I got stuck on Sleeve Island, and I was procrastinating, and I didn't want to pick it up, and I was working on other things. I had a bazillion test knits on my needles at the time, and yes, so this is very exciting. This is the Rift top long sleeve tee by Jacqueline C. Slack out of Conifer Collective Yarn. I am super excited about this. I think it's just very autumnal and wintry, and that's all the vibes I'm going for right now. I'm trying to give myself a little drop of hope and joy by doing that there is hope that it will get cooler and it will rain. That time is not now, but it will be here eventually. So in the meantime, I'm going to knit dark and moody things and things for the fall and the winter and things that I cannot wear right now. You do what you gotta do, you know? Do what you gotta do. Oh, I need to put this back in the couch bag. No. Okay. So also, I mentioned that for a hot second I didn't have any test knits on my needles, which is true, and that is no longer true. I have one test knit on my needles, but it is a secret. It is a collaboration with a designer and a yarn dyer, and I'm very excited about it, but it is a secret, and I cannot show you what I'm working on. I'm not using the yarn that is part of the collaboration. I'm using some stash yarn, and I'm very excited about it, but I'll not be able to show it to you all. But it's not too far in the distant future. It will be coming out sooner rather than later, so that's very exciting. And yes, but I am working on that. I got that the afternoon, like a couple hours after I fully steamed my Brooklyn raglan and trimmed my ends. So for 4 hours I didn't have any test knits, and then I got one and I was very excited. But the designer reached out to me, and it was just like, it's just too exciting for both the designer and the yarn dyer, so I'm very honored to be part of this project. But it is a secret, like I said. cannot show it to you. Have been working on it, but I also have other progress to show you. So, I don't know. Let me see if I've moved my progress keeper. Oh, I did. Not a ton. Nothing fascinating, but we will. It's still progress, I think. This is my Weekender Light by Andrea Mowry. I think I'm showing you the back actually, but it looks the exact same. I'm currently working on my first sleeve, and I knit from there to there. Go me. Yay. Making such progress, leaps and bounds. But all things considered, this is still a lot. So the body of the sweater is knit with reverse stockinette stitch. You actually knit the entire thing, and then before you do the top, you flip it inside out, so your purl bumps are facing outwards. You have this slip stitch seam up along the front, and then when you pick up your sleeves are actually knit with the knit side out. So we've got a fun combination of textures here. Like I said, it's by Andrea Mowry. I'm using Be Teal My Heart by Heathered Handmaids, who, if you have watched the podcast for a while, you know that I love and adore her yarn. It's very wonderful. It's kind of a bent up Be Teal My Heart. We do carry her yarn at the shop as well. So, nothing fancy. Nothing fancy, but I've just slowly been working on this. I got this yarn when we had a trunk show with her back in April, March, maybe. I don't remember, but that's okay. I have made good progress and I'm excited about that. So, the Weekender Light. Let's move my progress keeper before I forget. Boop. Boop. And yes. So, moving right along with things I have worked on so we can get to the good stuff. I have a fun announcement, and then I have yarn acquisitions and a future project to show you. I pulled out my Ela cardigan by Isabel Kramer. Again, we love Isabel Kramer. This is what I have so far. And I love it. I'm knitting this out of Harrisville Designs Nightshades. And this is the progress that I made, which is still better than nothing, but I did pull it out, and I'm now just knitting the body, and then there's that. So I'm just now working on the body until I reach the ribbing. We have we just got plain stockinette on the back. I'm just continuing to poke myself with these needles. Plain stockinette on the back, and then we've got this lace panels on the front with the applied I-cord edge and the ribbing. But once I'm done with the body, and I just do the ribbing, and then the sleeves are simple, and then I'll be done. And wow, I have another cardigan that's on the road to being complete. Look at me go. I'm so excited. Anyway, I just barely worked on this. I did pull it out yesterday, and worked on it during church because I felt like doing some lace. So it is very easy lace. It's nothing too challenging. I believe there may be written and charted. If not, it's just charted. But I feel like there may be written instructions. But it is such a pattern that I need to keep looking at it. I can't memorize it, which is fine. That's totally okay. It's just one of those things that I know that I can't really zone out when I'm working on it. And because you've got two different charts for the two different sides, so they match and they mirror each other and all that kind of stuff, and it's just a lot to keep track of. So, but that's okay. It is worth it, and I will love wearing this when it is done. We're going to put my weekender back in there. So next up, what have I worked on? I got a little progress on my Feel Good shawl by Andrea Mowry. And by progress, I got one repeat done, but that's okay. It's still something. This is a all over brioche shawl. We have two color brioche sections and then one color brioche section. I am working on my bazillion increases. I need a lot of these. I'm counting these like big increase rows, and I have to have so many of them. I have my little cinnamon roll progress keeper from Little Bitty Delights. My yarn is a combination of a lot of old stash. My mint color is Malabrigo worsted. I have La Bien-Aimée that I'm finally using, which I'm just loving. I also have some Hue Loco in here. I've got some Madeline Tosh, and then I have some Uncommon Thread, I believe. That's what that is. No. And then I have some random gray thrown in here, and I'm not sure why, but that's okay. So I'm just plugging along on this. It's nothing super intense. It is still a lot of brioche, obviously, and the rows are getting longer. So it does take a while, but again, it's worth it. It's super squishy, and definitely it's one of those ones that I get really warm when I work on it, so that's why it's kind of been slowly not making any progress. Because it is very warm. If I haven't mentioned it before, it is very warm. So I am enjoying this. Don't get me wrong, it will get done. It's just a matter of when / I don't need it right now. I feel like the air conditioner has just turned on and it feels much nicer. Last time we just had those new vents put in, and where I sit I feel the breeze, which is much nicer. For it is very warm. Did I tell you? It is very warm. So funny, so funny. Why do I keep putting them over there? I need to put them in the bag. Okay. So I did make progress on my socks. I got my heel flap knit of my just plain vanilla socks by the Crazy Sock Lady. I am using mustache yarn in for this self-striping colorway. I have a mini for my cuff, heel, and eventually toes that I do not know what it is. But the mustache yarn is called Daily Eggs. I'm ready for my heel turn, which is great. I just haven't gotten around to that. I'm using my 9-inch circulars size 1, which I do love. It works for me. That is my preferred sock knitting method. And yes. I was doing something and I was just like, I am not going to work on anything else until I knit this heel flap, and I'm going to love every second of it. I think I had some intense deadlines and I needed to get everything done and just or something, I don't know what, but I was like, I should be working on something else, but I'm gonna work on my sock. So I did, and I have a heel flap, and I just need the heel, and then I can do the gusset shaping, foot and the toe, and then I do it all over again, and then I'll have a pair of finished socks. And we are just dreaming and hoping and longing for the day where we can wear our Birkenstocks with our hand knit socks. That is really the only reason why I knit socks. Is that embarrassing to admit? Maybe, but I don't really care. I love the look of socks. Hand knit socks with Birkenstocks, which is funny that it rhymes, but that is my vibe. One of my vibes, one of my styles. I don't know what you want to call it, but I love that. That is what I will be doing. So I need to knit more socks so I can have more socks to wear with my Birkenstocks. Yes. I love Birkenstocks. Like, I am the first one to tell you to get a pair. I have 3 pairs. I have a pair that I've had for over 7 years. They've been resold once, and they went with me on my study abroad, and they're just like, they're so near dear to my heart. I love them. They're brown and sandally. They've got the 3 straps instead of just the 2. I have my teal pair, which if you've seen me in person at all, you've probably seen me wearing my teal Birkenstocks, especially in the summer. Those are my summer Birkenstocks. And then I have like the classic, my dad used to call them pancake shoes because they look like pancakes on your feet. But they're so comfortable, and they're also brown, and those are the ones that I will wear with my socks, and I'm so excited. But it is too hot for that right now. It's even too hot for those Birkenstocks because it encloses your foot so nicely, and it just makes your foot very warm, and we need sandals right now. Sandals. Yes. I have a couple of languishing lips that I will just briefly touch upon that I want to work on. I have what is this? This doesn't look like anything. This is a cardigan. This is the Cruiser cardigan by Skein Yarns. I have no idea. Oh, this is the sleeve. That's what that is. I was like, what in the world is this? I'm working on one of the sleeve sides, so that's cool. I do want to pull that out and work on that. I did find another pair of those are 9s. That's cool. I was looking for those. I'm using, I can never remember this yarn. I just stabbed myself in the leg with my knitting needle. Patagonia by Juniper Maroon, organic merino. Love it. This looks very similar to my Ela cardigan, but we're not going to dwell on that. This one doesn't have lace, okay? It's all in garter stitch. So that is a possibility to pull out. I also want to pull out potentially, because we all know that Advent calendar season is coming. I need to finish my Advent calendar project from last year, and I need to get it done so I can have space in my mind and in my knitting soul, heart, whatever, for 2 advent calendars. I have a 24-day and then I have a 12-day, and I'm very excited. This is the Boho Chic advent calendar from Lavender Loon last year. I love it. I'm knitting the Wavy Wiggles pattern by Stephen West. No idea what I'm doing for my patterns this year. To be honest, it kind of overwhelms me to think about that right now, so we're not thinking about that for a while. But yes, this is a lot of garter stitch, and I really just need to sit down and work on it. So I can, again, free up my Christmas holiday winter bag from Elena of Rosen Seams. So yes, I love this bag so much. It makes me very happy. Moving along, let's talk about yarn acquisitions. I only have a very small amount of the yarn for this project, but I am getting more. And I have my announcement to make. Okay. Let's adjust our legs, shall we, so my feet don't fall asleep. Everyone, we're gonna have some background. If you've been watching this podcast for pretty much any amount of time, you might be aware that I love Stephen West. He's another designer that we stand here. Huge fan. Huge fan. And yes, he has a cardigan called the Bubble Cardigan. And when it came out, it immediately went on my queue. I was immediately like, I have to knit this. at some point in my life. I'm gonna make it all scrappy. It's gonna be amazing. I need this bubble cardigan. And then I was busy and couldn't get to it, and it's a very large project. I knew it would take a long time. And then I saw other people working on them because I followed a hashtag on Instagram, and then Kristen of Woolenvine did hers, and she did the whole steeking thing, and I was like, oh, I really need to knit this bubble cardigan. When will my time come? I don't know. I don't know. And so, my time never came, and I was just like, it's gonna happen sometime, but this is when me not taking advantage of these fun things that will be treats and like a fun thing for me, I don't take advantage of those things, and I'm just like waiting around for the perfect moment. And then I feel like that perfect moment never arrives, and then it never happens, and it's like, well, why did I waste all this time? Do fun things, okay? Don't wait around thinking that the perfect time will come, because there are some things that you just need to seize the moment and just do. And so, other story to go along with this. If you have also been watching this podcast for a while, you would know that I knit a sample and a test knit for Hohi Locatelli, and it was a sample for Diane of Suburban Stitcher. It was her ladybird wrap, and as in return for knitting the sample, I get the same amount of yarn from Diane that I used, which is 5 skeins of her yarn. And so I finished my Brooklyn Raglan, and I got it all steamed, and during those 4 hours of not having any test knits on my needles, I planned the most perfect color palette ever. Because we had also, at the shop, we had just gotten a big shipment, a wholesale order from Diane, so we had a lot of fun colors that I could see in person that I could play around with, and I knew that I could kind of pull from other places for yarn to kind of be a placeholder and pick out one of her colors from her website that I could see to kind of match that. And then I would just get the main color and the additional colors, because I need 7 contrasting colors, and I only was getting 5 skeins from Diane. So I ended up getting these 2 from Heathered Handmaids. Again, love to see it. I got our last skein of Dahlia, which is this peachy color. Love it. And then I got Eraser Dust, which is actually not my first skein of Eraser Dust. Love it. And then my main color will be this Knitting for Olive. Surprise, surprise, it's all my favorites. And this is the oatmeal colorway. For a hot second, I thought I was going to use the exact same yarn that I just used for my Gramps Revive cardigan, hazelnut, and I was like, oh. No, it's okay. It would be beautiful, but let's not. So, oatmeal. You may be able to guess what vibe we're going in. And since I do not have the yarn yet, I will show you a picture. And I'm so excited, everyone. This is gonna be like, I can't even. Okay, this is it. I'm so excited. Please don't blow out. I wonder what would happen if I would turn on the brightness. Would that help? Ah, there we go. That's better. I was having a hard time figuring out what to focus on. Anyway, that is my palette for the bubble cardigan. And I'm so excited. I am so excited. And my time is now, and this is just such a, like, it's treating myself, it's seizing the moment and knitting something that I wanted to knit for a long time, and I did finish a bunch of stuff, and I have finished a bunch of things that are test knits that are not test knits. Is it a treat? Is it a reward? Yes, but also, like, I finally decided what I wanted that yarn to be for. And I finally put in the work. I made decisions. I made color decisions. Wow. That's hard for me sometimes. And it's gonna be amazing, and I'm so excited. Like, I cannot even. I have yet to decide if I'm going to be doing the steeking method, which is what Kristen of Volenvine did. She did a very in-depth tutorial on how to do that, because the idea of not purling this entire thing does sound very good, but I don't know. I do not know. I need to figure that out, but I have a while. I don't have the yarn yet. It's coming. I know that Diana's busy, and so she's going to be dyeing things up for me soon. But the bubble cardigan, everyone, it's finally happening. I can't even. I'm so excited. Can't even. If I was going to Rhinebeck, this would be my Rhinebeck sweater for sure. If I was going to Rhinebeck, I probably wouldn't be able to get it done in time, but that's okay. For the future. We're knitting for future Rhinebecks, because it will be happening. Which is a very nice segue into my next fun thing I'm going to be announcing. So, I've never been to DFW Fiberfest. And this year is going to be my first year to be there. So I'm going to be there on September 23rd, I believe. Let's double check that. It is a fiber convention that is happening in Irving, Texas, which is just like in Dallas, at the Irving Convention Center. We will be there, yes, the 23rd, that's the Friday. And we will be there. I will be there with my mom and my sister. So if you are going to be there, please come say hello. I would love to meet you. I'd love to say hi. And also, I will have pins, because I've had these for forever, and I have them for this particular situation where I can hand them out if you would so like one. It's nothing fancy. I actually designed them myself forever ago when I first started the podcast, and I drew Birdie and his little ball of yarn, and what does that actually say? Oh, come and sit and join me for some crafty chat. Look at me go. So, please, if you are there, and if you want to meet up or something, I'm not sure what our plan is. All I know is that we will only be there on Friday. We will only be there on the 23rd. We have other things planned. My mom is coming in. She's come flying in from Colorado, and because we've never been to DFW before, and it's been canceled the past couple of years because of the pandemic, and now's our time. So I'm so excited about some of the vendors that are going to be there. Heather's going to be there. I know Diane's going to be there. So many other people. I'm really excited. I think Moondrake is going to be there. The vendors, it's a good lineup of vendors. So I am just over the moon. Please, if you would like to say hello, do not be afraid. Don't feel like you're being weird. It's okay. I would love to say hi. If you want a pin, I would love to give you a pin. I'd love to wave if you want to wave. I'd love to give you a hug if you want to have a hug. I don't know, whatever floats your boat. I would just love to meet you if you're going to be there. And if you want to meet me. If you don't want to meet me, that's also fine, but I would like to meet you if you're going to be there. So that's very exciting. Again, the whole Fiberfest, I believe, I think it starts on the 22nd and then goes through the weekend, but we will just be there on Friday, September 23rd. So I will continue to post and remind and all that kind of stuff. I'm not sure about documenting the whole thing quite yet. I have to figure that out. But either way, it's going to be super fun, and I'm just so excited. I'm over the moon. It's another check off my yarny bucket list. So yes, that is my big announcement, and we are getting close to the end of the summer schedule, so I will be going back to recording once a week. We will see how that goes. We will cross that bridge when we get there. How about that? Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I hope that you have had a wonderful past couple of weeks, and you continue to have in the next couple of weeks. I hope they are very well and good and happy, and hopefully not too hot. The perfect temperature with rain. If you have crafty plans, I hope that they are successful. Again, as a reminder, we do not determine our crafting worth based on how much we get done. All that matters is if you enjoy it, and if it brings you joy, that is all that matters. If you don't get a ton done, that's okay. If you get a lot done, that's also okay. That's also wonderful. Both things are wonderful. I have social media, I have show notes, I have yarn store information. All that stuff will be linked all the various places. If you have any questions, or if I forget to include anything, or if you just want to say hello, please feel free to send me a message on Instagram. I would love to say hello. What? Hello or hi or both. I'd also like to say hello at DFW Fiberfest. So here's to finishing more things, pulling out Languishing whips, and celebrating finally knitting those patterns that you've wanted to knit for forever. And you're seizing that moment, and you're gonna knit the fun thing, and it's gonna be so good, and it's gonna be amazing. Oh, I can't even. It's so exciting. Can you tell I'm excited? I'm excited. So, thank you for hanging out with me. You are wonderful. You are enough. Hope you're staying cool. Hope you've had a good summer so far. Hope you have stayed safe and healthy and all those positive things. And with that, I will see you in the next couple of weeks. Bye.